Hey guys! So, judging by the title of this video, you will probably know that I have been a very stupid human being. So, let's just say I hurt my foot, in literally the most stupid of all ways to hurt your foot. So, let me tell you how it happened. Basically, 2 weeks ago Thursday, so not last Thursday, but the Thursday before that, I was casually dancing like a complete freak I am in my room, like a crazy person, when suddenly I decided it was a good idea to start walking backwards really quickly, and somehow I managed to fall backwards. So yeah, I think it was because of the speed I was walking backwards that made me manage to slip and fall. So, when I fell, I was holding my iPad, which is kind of like a big deal, since it's, an expensive object and that I'd be, grounded for life if I broke it. But, anyways, luckily, I reacted quick enough to make sure that I held my iPad off the ground when I fell, and also my head, because, cracking your skull isn't exactly the most, brilliant of ideas. But, I mean, you fall all the time, it's not a big deal. And I was just about to get back up when suddenly my foot started hurting. And I thought, oh, it's just like stubbing your toe. Like, it really hurts for a couple seconds, but then it just stopped. But it wouldn't stop. So it just wouldn't stop, and it just kept getting worse and worse. So I just fell back crying at the pain. That's how bad it was. So, but I couldn't get up. And I tried calling my mom, but she obviously couldn't hear me since I was all the way upstairs in my room. So then I noticed my iPad next to me, and so what I did, which I think was pretty genius of myself, if I must say so myself, I sent her a Skype message telling her to come. So then after a few seconds of laying there, I suddenly heard her coming up the stairs. And she came in, and she helped me off the ground, and yeah, she started asking, do you have to go to hospital? But I mean, it hurt really badly, but I doubted it was that bad that it was broken or something. But it still hurt pretty bad. So, it was like continuous pain, compared to the next day. But, so yeah, my mom just gave me a pill and I managed to go to sleep. The next morning, I had to go to school on crutches, which is pretty irritating. And, surprisingly, I wasn't late to school. I thought I would be because our morning routine was so delayed as I couldn't function properly. My mom carried me up and down the stairs on her back. Literally. And, I was about to, sit down and, butt scoot down the stairs. She was like, no, not safe. I was like, she was like, get on my back. You don't weigh anything anyways. I was like, are you insane? But no, she forced me to get on her back, and then she carried me up and down stairs. Once to go down for breakfast, once to get up to get changed, and then the third time was to get down to the car. But yeah, the continuous pain had stopped. Now I just couldn't put my foot down so I just couldn't put my foot down without screaming out in pain. But the continuous pain had stopped. Now it was only if I put my foot down. It wasn't that it wouldn't stop, because now I at least had a way to prevent it. But I went to school, and everyone was, of course, like, oh my god, what happened with my crutches? And, of course, they all wanted to try out my crutches. That's, the classic thing when you have crutches. So for the rest of the day, I was constantly pausing in the middle of the hallway, because I wasn't used to crutches anymore, because the last time I had them was 2 years ago, because I had, a mini operation on my foot, and my palms were really, really sore. The days following, I'd gotten used to the feeling again, but the first day was just miserable, and my other leg started hurting because of the extra weight being put on it. And it was just not nice. The worst part, though, was when I had to go to the bathroom and I accidentally put my foot down, and I was like, I mean, at least it was a Friday, so I had the weekend after that. But we were originally going to go get an x-ray after school, but the nurse said it was probably not necessary, because it wasn't even 24 hours since the accident. So first we would check what's actually up with it. See if it healed by the next morning, if it was getting better, etc., etc. But And I mean, if it really hurt, I probably could have stayed home. But I couldn't stay home. I didn't want to stay home because that would cause a lot of troubles for me. Basically because it was the last day of actual school. Because the next week was just going to be us fooling around, and we were gonna have our last assignment of the entire year, which was a debate. So I wouldn't be able to redo it. One, because it was a debate, so we wouldn't be able to regather the class just because one student missed out on it, and two, because grades were due on Monday, and I just didn't want to get involved with that fuss, so that's why I did go to school, and I did the debate as the wounded delegate of Singapore. Yeah. After school, I actually managed to, like, walk around a little without my crutches, which is pretty nice, and then over the weekend, I had to go to, like, my friend's birthday party, which is sleepover, so that was a bit of a challenge, but I mean, I could walk on it again. I just needed the crutches there mainly for support, so they were more like walking sticks, really, but, and in the case that my foot started hurting even more, but, so, over the weekend, I went to my friend's house, etc., etc., and then, last week, the entire week, I've just been hopping around with my crutches, wearing only one proper shoe and the other one, like, a far bigger shoe because my foot has swollen. And on Tuesday, I went to the doctor's office and they took an x-ray and everything, and they said it was basically fine. It wasn't broken or anything. The only reason it could have been broken is because on the first day, I couldn't move my foot properly. I could only move it slightly to the side, but I couldn't move it up or anything, and I couldn't move any of my toes. I still can't move my 3 little toes, but that's the only reason I thought it might be broken, but it turned out it wasn't broken. Basically, the tissue had inflamed. Yeah, the doctor said it was a really good idea that I had the crutches because I didn't know what it was, and that the crutches were really good because the foot needed some resting, but she gave me some pills, which I have to take every morning to make sure that that it gets better, basically, and that on Tuesday I had to go see a physiotherapist, and I have to go see him actually today in like an hour or so, who just makes sure that my foot is all good, and they had to bandage it, etc., etc. Then I went back to school. And on the first day, my friends had to carry my bags everywhere, and slowly as my foot got better, they only had to maybe like carry like a couple of my bags just so that it wouldn't bring overweight down my foot. And I had like 2 purses, like my lunchbox and that like hang on my shoulder, and they kept like getting in my way when I was walking on the crutches, so they usually had to carry those. And they would follow me to my class. And one morning, literally, one of my teachers, she came out of the classroom and she saw me like trying to hop along, trying to sort out my bags, and then she was like, "No, give me your backpack. Which class are you going to?" And she literally carried my backpack to my class. Yeah, she's a pretty cool teacher. But yeah, the stupidest thing about this entire experience is basically, one, the way it happened, me dancing, me walking backwards, me fall, and the fact that I have no idea how my foot actually got hurt. I mean, I fell, but none of my other parts of my body got hurt, so why specifically my foot? I think maybe like my other leg landed on it when I was falling or something, but I have no idea, so that's kind of odd. Right now I'm actually not using my crutches just because I haven't been using them the entire day, mainly because my foot felt a bit better, and I mean the entire week I've been I could walk on my foot, but I was using the crutches to walk at a normal pace and as walking sticks, as I like to call them, but today my foot was feeling a bit better, so I went outside without them, and I mean, I've been walking inside without them as well, but not outside yet. But yeah, just in like a couple minutes actually, I think I might be, or more like an hour, I'll be going back to the physiotherapist again, so that they can sort out my foot, and yeah. So yeah, this is my foot. It is momentarily in a plain sock. I've only been able to use like one of my socks every single time, but these are actually 2 socks just because in Zim it's momentarily going into winter, so it's really cold and my foot needs to stay warm. So this is my 2 plain socks, and these are the shoes I've been wearing. One normal shoe and then one overly sized shoe that I can adjust. And basically the physiotherapist said about a week ago that in like 2 weeks time, so that's like now 1 week's time, it should be completely fine. And yeah, this is how they had to bandage it. Meh, poor me. The weirdest part though is the fact that the pain isn't necessarily throughout my whole foot. I mean, on the first day when it just happened, it was, but then like the day following, it was mainly just like if I leaned on my toes, and not necessarily like when I'm just putting it down like this, then it's fine. Only if I like were to do that, then yeah, it hurts. And I can only move these 2 toes, and the other 3 are still not functioning properly. And what I find so interesting, which I thought that maybe like it was broken or something, is the fact that like the pain was mainly just like it was just on this spot, like right here, and that's what made me think like maybe like I cracked a bone there or something, but no, it turns out not so. So maybe like there's a nerve there or something that I hit, but yeah, let's just see how that turns out and if I'll be able to move my toes later. I mean, they're moving slightly now just because I'm moving this one slightly, so then it moves this up slightly, so it's better than before, but yeah. Alright guys, so basically wish me luck, and let's hope that I don't have to walk around all vacation like this. I'm off to the physiotherapist. Bye! Oops. Hubba 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 hubba.